Garuda Indonesia would see its flight routes reduced from 237 to 140 super premium routes, with the focus shifting to domestic destinations. The number of international flights will also be reduced. The second measure is reducing the combined fleet of Garuda Indonesia and subsidiary Citylink of 202 aircraft to 134 aircraft by 2022. The airline fleet reduction would see the aircraft model used by the airline streamlined into 7 types. Renegotiation of aircraft leases, which is aimed at lowering the lease price in proportion to the current market rate, is the third measure devised to rescue the airline. The fourth measure is to enhance the utilization of aircraft belly capacity to increase revenue from cargo flights and to digitize the airline's operation. Chasing revenue opportunities from extra facilities offered through the unbundling scheme, product expansion and implementation of dynamic pricing strategy is the fifth measure planned for the airline, the Deputy Minister revealed. Wiryatmojo expressed the hope that Garuda Indonesia's balance sheet will improve and positive performance will be recorded after the airline rescue plan is implemented. IDX Channel reports. Deputy Minister of Finance Suhasil Nazara said that digital platforms such as online shopping platforms or e-commerce must be the government's partners in increasing tax revenues. The reason is since the last 1.5 years, online platforms have dominated the economy. This makes tax revenues from conventional businesses shift gradually. Suhasil said the emergence of new business opportunities during the COVID-19 pandemic should be a new tax base for the government. If there is no support from digital platforms to pay and collect taxes, the state will not be able to build a more capable infrastructure. In fact, the development of infrastructure is ultimately needed by the players in the industry. Suhasil said that digital industry business players must pay attention that the government needs state revenue for various developments. Thus, input from various parties, including business actors, is needed to formulate the government's readiness to draw a new tax base that is more relevant and in accordance with the provisions. And we're moving on to global update. NASA has delayed sending astronauts back on the moon until 2025 at the earliest. Meanwhile, Australia's Prime Minister has launched a $1 billion Australian investment fund to fast-track emerging low-emissions technologies. And more stories on today's International Minute.
Countries are being urged to strengthen their carbon-cutting targets by the end of 2022 in the draft agreements published at the COP26 Glasgow Climate Summit. The document says vulnerable nations must get more help to cope with the deadly impact of global warming. It also says countries should submit long-term strategies for reaching net zero by the end of next year. Critics have said the draft pact does not go far enough, but others welcome its focus on 1.5 degrees Celsius target. The United States Space Agency NASA has delayed sending astronauts back on the moon until 2025 at the earliest, jettisoning a deadline set by the administrations of former President Donald Trump. NASA had been aiming for 2024 for the first moon landing by astronauts since the Apollo 17 mission made a lunar landing in 1972. The aggressive goal set by the Trump administration was part of the agency's Artemis program. Australia's Prime Minister has launched $1 billion Australian or $738 million investment fund to fast-track emerging low-emissions technologies, including carbon capture and storage, as he bolsters his government's green credential ahead of election due to within months. Prime Minister Scott Morrison expects the private sector will at least match his government's $500 million Australian or $369 million contributions to the fund. Pfizer has asked health regulators in the United States to authorize booster jabs of its COVID-19 vaccine for everyone aged 18 and older, amid concerns that coronavirus infection could rise again in the coming winter months in the U.S. Older Americans and those more vulnerable to infections are already eligible for a third booster jab in the U.S. IDX Channel reports.
Market headlines will be right back. Stay tuned with us.
Awalnya nggak langsung yakin, tapi setelah ikut 2 kali acara edukasi Bursa Efek, akhirnya tertarik juga.
Karena mudah, saya ajarkan ibu-ibu lain, sampai anak saya juga ikutan.
Selesai dagang, saya bawa 100.000 untuk nabung saham. Hasilnya jelas sekali.
Yuk kita nabung saham sekarang.
Halo Sobat Investor, kalian udah punya rumah belum? Berikut ini adalah tips bagi kalian yang ingin memiliki rumah impian. Tips yang pertama adalah menabung auto debit untuk membayar DP rumah. Kesulitan utama dalam membeli rumah adalah membayar uang muka sebagai syarat KPR. Jadi saat pertama kali kalian menerima gaji, langsung disisihkan secara otomatis ya untuk ditabung. Tips yang kedua adalah menabung dalam bentuk tabungan deposito ataupun emas. Menabung dalam bentuk tabungan deposito dan juga emas membuat tabungan kalian menjadi lebih aman dan tentunya melatih kalian agar semakin disiplin dalam menabung. Tips yang ketiga adalah cari DP rumah yang bisa dicicil. Program cicilan DP rumah membantu kalian yang memiliki dana terbatas. Tips berikutnya adalah pilihlah rumah yang sesuai dengan kebutuhan kalian. Pilihlah rumah yang memang kalian butuhkan ya Sobat Investor. Tips yang terakhir adalah pilihlah KPR dengan tenor yang cukup panjang. Karena KPR dengan tenor yang panjang membuat cicilan bulanan kalian menjadi lebih rendah. Nah, kini memiliki properti impian tentunya bukan angan-angan lagi ya Sobat Investor.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. Angkasa Pura revealed that Igusti Ngurah Rai Airport Bali recorded aircraft passengers growth of up to 98% in October 2021 compared to the previous month. It was recorded that Bali Airport served 464,390 passengers as of October from 234,939 passengers in September. The increase in the number of passengers was followed by an increase in the number of aircraft served. Throughout October 2021, Bali Airport recorded 3,697 aircraft movements, an increase of 81% from 2,040 aircraft movements in the previous month. Meanwhile, the 3 origin routes that visited Bali the most in that period were Jakarta, with 136,529 passengers, followed by Surabaya with 29,973 passengers, and Ujung Pandang with 16,173 passengers. Meanwhile, the 3 most destination routes from Bali, namely Jakarta, with 132.367 passengers, Surabaya with 29,426 passengers, and Ujung Pandang with 14,175 passengers. The positive growth of airplane passengers has become the highest achievement trend this year. Although the number of passengers at Bali Airport has increased, Angkasa Pura has ensured that the implementation of health protocols will continue to be carried out to anticipate the spread of COVID-19. Central Java Governor Ganjar Pranowo attracted 26 investors with a total investment of 6 trillion rupiah in the first day of the Central Java Investment Business Forum, or CGIBF, event in Semarang. This year, CGIBF was held in a hybrid manner and was attended by 265 participants from 10 countries. Ganjar stated that several companies even signed investment cooperation in several areas in Central Java. Even though he managed to reap trillions of rupiah in investment, Ganjar admitted that it was not easy to invite investors in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. He said as many as 26 potential investors have expressed interest in investing in Central Java because they are considered to have enormous potential.
Situasi hari ini tidak cukup mudah, Bapak Ibu sekalian. Di tengah pandemi, kita tidak dipukul, dihajar habis-habisan. Hampir semua sektor turun. Dan ternyata untuk merecover itu tidak cukup mudah. Tapi kita tidak pernah putus asa agar apa-apa yang masih berpeluang untuk kita ambil, kita mesti jemput bola. Bagaimana mendorong kawasan industri semacam yang di Batang agar kita bisa betul-betul menjadikan Batang sebagai tempat investasi yang sangat menarik, sangat seksi, yang insentifnya betul-betul kita bisa berikan kepada para investor agar kita bisa bertanding dengan beberapa negara yang ternyata mereka punya ya mirip-mirip seperti yang ada.
Bank Indonesia believes support from a solid financial sector, especially the banking sector, was deemed necessary for economic recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic. Senior Deputy Governor of Bank Indonesia, Destri Damayanti, believes support from a solid financial sector, especially the banking sector, was deemed necessary for economic recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic. This is reflected in the condition of a solid capital adequacy ratio at 24.38%. In addition to CAR, the non-performing loan ratio of net banking was also relatively well maintained at 1.08%. Meanwhile, the liquidity ratio was also loose with a ratio of 33.53%, and third-party funding also continued to grow to 7.7% in September 2021. In September, credit also grew by 2.21% and evenly as consumption loans increased by 2.95%. In the stock market, the composite stock price index continued to increase by 10.9% year to date, and the return on 10-year sovereign debt papers also continued to decline and was at the level of 6.04%. Hence, the appetite for banks or investors to start supporting the credit or financing sector is already apparent. Destri Damayanti noted that the domestic economy had shown positive developments, albeit not as big as the previous quarter on the account of the government's policy of tightening economic activity in July and August due to the increasing number of positive cases of COVID-19. IDX Channel reports. OJK said it has initiated legal action against 3,631 illegal online lenders since 2018. Amid intensified monitoring of existing online lending companies.
The Financial Services Authority, or OJK, said it has initiated legal action against 3,631 illegal online lenders since 2018 amid intensified monitoring of existing online lending companies. OJK's executive head for non-bank financial industry monitoring, Rizwinandi, stated that by collaborating with law enforcers, ministries and investment alert task force officers, OJK has taken concerted measures to screen and take actions against illegal online lenders. Illegal online lenders have been a stain on the positive image that peer-to-peer financial technology industry actors have built. The industry intends to provide a new and accessible alternative to satisfy people's financial needs. The OJK official highlighted the importance of public education to help people distinguish between legal and illegal online lenders. Besides enhancing public education, the OJK has also developed the FinTech Lending Data Center to supervise around 102 legal online lending companies that have been integrated with the system amidst continued integrations of other legal companies with the supervisory system, he explained. Integration with the FinTech Lending Data Center would provide direct access to OJK to monitor peer-to-peer lending activities provided by the companies, such as loan limit monitoring, 90-day success rate monitoring, and adherence to loan distributions principles, the official said. IDX Channel reports.
Stay with us because Market Headlines will be back after this quick break.
Awali hari Anda dengan beragam informasi bisnis terkini yang kami kemas dalam berita teraktual dan berkualitas. Power Breakfast, informasi terkini seputar ekonomi, bisnis, pasar modal, dan industri kreatif yang dikemas secara ringan. New Screen menyajikan informasi ekonomi, bisnis, dan keuangan. Market Headline menayangkan berita ekonomi dan bisnis dalam bahasa Inggris. Saksikan program-program berita ekonomi dan bisnis terkini langsung dari sumbernya, live hanya di IDX Channel. Your Trustworthy Economic, Business, and Capital Market Channel.
Saya lihat dari sektor UMKM nampaknya sudah mulai terasa.
Ya, kalau kita lihat dari indikator kredit ya untuk UMKM, ini memang sudah menunjukkan bahwa ekonomi UMKM mulai menggeliat.
Para petinggi negara anggota G20 sepakat untuk mengurangi pemanasan global hingga 1,5 derajat Celcius.
Kita bisa target kita maju, tetapi dengan bantuan teknologi dan investasi dari internasional.
Kementerian Keuangan menilai pemulihan ekonomi akibat pandemi COVID-19 belum berjalan secara merata di seluruh.
Pemulihan ekonomi global tidak merata.
Welcome back on Market Headlines. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement, earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 6,702.84. And then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 6,680.6. And then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 6,691.34. And in short, JCI went up 0.12%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got transportation and logistics went up 2.19%. Non-cyclic sector went up 1.64%. Technology went down 1.81%, and infrastructure went down 0.89%. And we're moving on to top gainers and top losers. Here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Bank Sentral Asia went up 0.33% to the level of 7,675 rupiah per share. CPRO went up 21.43% to the level of 68 rupiah per share. Unilever Indonesia went up 6.64% to the level of 4,660 rupiah per share. And NATO went up 0.68% to the level of 745 rupiah per share. And let's see the top losers for today's trading. We got Arto went down 0.91% to the level of 16,275 rupiah. Telkom went down 1.35% to the level of 3,650 rupiah per share. Care went down 2.88% to the level of 505 rupiah per share. And Bukalapak went down 1.33% to the level of 740 rupiah per share. And let's see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,310. Rupiah showing weakening trend towards US dollar and was closed at the level of 14,298. And in summary, Rupiah went down 0.37%. Due to the delayed rebuilding of Furnace 4, Vale Indonesia estimates that nickel-made production in 2022 will decline by 13% to only 65,000 tons.
Due to the delayed rebuilding of Furnace 4, Vale Indonesia estimates that nickel-made production in 2022 will decline by 13% compared to the company's annual average production. As a result, next year, Vale is only targeting the production of nickel-made as much as 65,000 tons. In fact, Inco's average annual nickel-made production is in the range of 70,000 to 75,000 tons. Although still below the annual production average, the nickel-made production target in 2022 is already higher than this year's nickel-made production target of only 64,000 tons. Meanwhile, Inco needs to turn off the furnace, which is 20 years old, on December 14th. The company also said that it has 3 other furnaces that will continue to operate as usual to support nickel-made production. In addition, Inco's nickel-made production fell 13% in the first 9 months of this year compared to the same period last year, also due to furnace maintenance issues. IDX Channel reports.
As of September 2021, Ciputra Development has recorded pre-sales revenue of 5 trillion rupiah. The company is optimistic that it can achieve this year's marketing sales target of 6 trillion rupiah.
As of September 2021, Ciputra Development has recorded pre-sale revenue of 5 trillion rupiah. Ciputra is also optimistic that it can achieve this year's marketing sales target of 6 trillion rupiah. According to the director of Ciputra Development, Tulus Santoso, this optimism stems from the company marketing sales achievement in the first semester of 2021, which has exceeded 50% of the target. Ciputra's optimism is also driven by the extensions of incentives provided by the government to the property sector. Tulus emphasized that Ciputra will soon launch its newest project in the rest of this year, which is located in Medan, namely Citraland Helvetia. In addition, Ciputra still sees promising business prospects in the commercial segment of shopping centers. With the development of projects that continue, CTRA also estimates that the revenue or net profit in 2021 will be the same as the achievement in 2020, that is amounting to 1.32 trillion rupiah. IDX Channel reports.
And step aside from market condition as the efforts in achieving herd immunity is still going on. Here is an update data about COVID-19 vaccinations in Indonesia. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. And viewers, to prevent the spread of COVID-19, always wear a mask and get vaccinated immediately. Masks have been shown to reduce the risk of transmission by 80%, while vaccines minimize the risk of death by 73%. So let's wear a mask and get vaccinated, because masks and vaccines keep us healthy and happy. And I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.